your religious leaders, they like what they're saying. Because if they didn't like what they're saying, they would have come out here and tell black people what they're supposed to know. Tell black people what they're supposed to do, instead of having some little young black men right now coming out on the streets and trying to raise the people out of the ghetto.
I.S.U.P.K.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it cautious. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cautious. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on by the bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right.
Trying to raise the people out of the slums, trying to raise the people out of the condition that they're in. Because your religious leaders, they see it, they love it, but we see it and hate it. We hate seeing the condition that we people in then. This is what we have to understand. And the other nations, they're not going to help you. These other races, not going to help black people come out from the condition that they're in. Giving a black man a hamper or a food stamp or a voucher, that's not going to help them come out from the condition that they're in. That is going to give them a 5-minute ease from the pain that black people really in. But when you start understanding the oppression of black people, when you start understanding the hands that these other nations have in the oppression of black people, you're going to understand that these other races is not here to help black people. Black people have to help themselves. The Lord tell us one thing to do. Give me the book of Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1, Baba Kusha. The Lord tell black people something to do, and this is what we have to know. Your religious leaders is not going to show you these things. Come out here on a Friday, 12 o'clock, and you're going to understand what really in this book. You're going to understand what really in this Bible. If you don't like to read, it's not a sin. Come out here and sit down and understand what really in this Bible. Because they're going to have you singing in church, jumping up and down, and not showing you what you're supposed to do as black people. Go ahead, read.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Gather yourselves together.
This is what Christ is saying, so-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native Indian man. Take it from the top again, Baba Kusha.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Christ is saying, your king is saying, your black king is saying, gather yourself together. Contrary to what religious leaders tell you, we are saying what Christ is saying. Gather yourselves together. Go ahead.
Gather together, all nation not desired.
Or what?
All nation not desired.
Because you, as black people, is a people that is not desired by these other races. As the brother was bringing out earlier before, when the Barrett girl died, all the East Indians know to come out and support the people. But guess what happening? When black people get shot down in the street, when black people get brutalized in the hands of the police, look what happening to the Z-Tech and Muslims. Look what happening to them now. When we watching it on the social media and see what happening to little black boys. Why we not gather ourselves together? Why the other nations not coming together and saying, gather yourself, black people, something is wrong. But we are telling you what the Lord has been saying for over 4,000 years. Gather yourself together, O nation not desired. Because you are not desired by these other races. It's time for you to understand that. Go ahead, read.
Gather yourselves together, yeah. Gather together, all nation not desired.
Christ is saying, gather together, all nation not desired. This is what you have to know, so-called black man, that you is that nation that is not desired. You think we're multicultural, but guess what? We as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are one tribe. We are 12 tribes, Salakia, from one nation, which is the nation of Israel. But you know what how we thinking? The how we thinking is Dogla, so we tap in the Mahasaba. The how we thinking is African, so we want to go to the Black Caucus movement. We're looking for a better way out. But there is no better way out than the way that the Most High have laid throughout his prophets, throughout our forefathers, for black people. But once black people hear the Bible, you know what they see? They see that white image. They see this filthy white image. So now you know what? I don't have no time with that. I don't have no time with that white God they give me. But black man, this is not your God. This is not your king. As I said earlier, we read earlier, we show you in the Bible that your king is a black man.
Right.
In more than one instances, we showing you that you're supposed to gather yourself together. All the nice dancehall and soca and hip hop and all the things we're listening, who running that by? It's not black people. We is the face. We putting in the work. But guess what happened? The East Indians, the Syrians, they had the studio.
Right.
They had the production sets.
Right.
They had the financial power to put it in the media.
Right.
We know that.
Right.
You understand? And the kind of music that black people producing, everything in the right spirit, black people going to make millions.
Right.
Black people going to make millions. But these heathens, not in the right spirit, so they have we killing one another. They have we gunning down one another. They have we fighting one another for a song. What should we reach to? Fighting one another for a song or for a spot. We ain't fighting to pull together to try and buy out some houses in the ghetto.
Right.
We ain't trying to put together as black people to try and own an establishment like Mario's.
Right.
Or Church's Chicken.
Right.
Or try to open a banking institution.
Right.
And if you open your eyes, so-called black man, the people in the banking institutions and in all these places that is in high management spots is black people. What does that let you know? That black people have the capability of opening and running their own establishments, their own businesses.
That's right.
But these heathens make us feel with nothing. They put us to the bottom of the pit and start pushing things in the media that is against black people.
Right.
How we fighting one another.
Right.
How we fighting for scrums.
Right.
Things that makes no sense. But the Lord give us a better way.
That's right.
The Lord tell us gather yourself together, own nation not desired. Go ahead.
Right.
Kawakan, gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, or nation not desired.
Because black people is that nation not desired. Go ahead.
Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord?